In the last section, we put together our deployment file for the multi-server set of pods, and we made sure that we specified that port 5000 should be accessible on the image that gets created inside of each of those pods. So we're now going to create a second configuration file that's going to serve as what's going to create and maintain the cluster IP service. So I'm going to, again, flip back over to my code editor, and inside of my K8s directory, I'm going to put together a new file that I will call server cluster IP service.yaml. All right, and I'm going to, or actually I don't need to, I was going to type out the name of the file right here just so you can see the whole thing, but you can actually see the whole name right here on the tab inside of my code editor just in case you want to reference the exact name that I'm using. All right, so inside of here, we're going to put together another config file for a service of type cluster IP. This is, again, going to be just about identical to the previous cluster IP service we put together, but let's go through typing it all out again just to kind of commit this stuff to memory. It'll be pretty quick. So I'm going to provide an API version of v1. I'll provide a kind of service. For our metadata, we're going to specify the name of this service or this object, and I'm going to use a name of server cluster IP service, like so. And then we will provide a spec that's going to customize exactly how this server behaves, or excuse me, how this service behaves. So we're going to specify a type of service of cluster IP, and then we need to provide a selector that's going to tell this service exactly what set of pods it's supposed to provide access to. And so, of course, the cluster IP that we're putting together right now is supposed to provide access to all the multi-server pods. In just the last section, when we put together the server deployment file, we had assigned each of those pods a label of component server. And so inside of our server cluster IP service, we're going to want to specify a selector of component server. So back over here, I'll provide a selector of component server. And then finally, very similar to what we did last time, we're going to make sure that we specify the ports that this service is going to kind of mitigate control over or manage control over. So just as before, we're going to just send everything through. And as a reminder, the multi-server image listens for traffic on port 5000. So we're going to provide our ports with a port of 5000 and a target port of 5000 as well, just as we did inside of our previous service. Okay, so that's it. That's all we have to do to put together our cluster IP service that's going to govern or manage access to our running Express API. So let's take a quick pause right here. I want to address one little side topic, and then we'll continue with a couple more config files for the rest of all the objects inside of our application. So quick pause, and I'll see you in just a minute.